Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League showcasing another very powerful team featuring Medicham. Medicham on the lead. We all know the story on this thing. It is the literal GOAT of the Great League. Easily the best Pokemon in the entire meta. And not far behind, we've got Lanturn on the safe swap. So the idea behind this team, protect Medi from the Flyers, and Sableye to an extent, let Medi roam free and wreak havoc. And rounding out the team in the closing spot, my somewhat leveled Carbink. Not quite there yet, but definitely good enough to protect Medi from its primary threats in the Great League. This team, zero respect for potential Trevenant, but they're not that common. But if you're wondering what this team does with Trevenant, stick around and you'll find out. But here we go, Azumarill on the lead. Not ideal, but Medicham, being the absolute monster that it is, does quite okay up against the Azumarill, as it's only applying neutral fast move pressure. And they stopped attacking there for a second. I think they were trying to wait a turn, but they ended up waiting 2 turns, allowing us to get this off, and they make a play into Sableye, and it is Carbink time if I've ever seen it. That is why we've got Carbink on this team, specifically for Sableye, as well as others like Chesnaught and Altaria, but primarily for Sableye. There is there are a few better answers than a Carbink. Of course, we are taking neutral damage from the Shadow Claws, but the charge moves are absolutely hard-walled by our Fairy Rock typing. And we go for the overkill Moonblast. Still working out. This is my first time running a Carbink, so still getting my bearings. A Rock Slide in hindsight would have been definitely enough. And speaking of Rock Slide, we should have thrown this. We got a little greedy with our Carbink trying to get to that Moonblast. We should have just thrown the Rock Slide, but it's okay. They've got an Altaria in the back. They do preserve the Azumarill, so we've got our Lanturn here on this Altaria. We do win the zeros. Going for the Thunderbolt here, they can let that go, but they choose to give up an early shield here. So our Medicham hanging on by a thread in the back. We're going to shield this. I was almost 99.9% sure that was going to be a bait, but better to be safe than sorry, as these Dragon Breaths are really starting to dig in at this point. Gonna fire off another Thunderbolt. We have to land at least one Thunderbolt in this matchup, and they do let that one go. Gonna shield up this Moonblast here. Lanturn, it kind of has to be a bit healthy to handle that Azu. Gonna fire off a Surf Bait here and see what they want to do. I don't think it'll quite KO, but it'll likely grab the shield. It does. So now we're just gonna overload a little bit. I think they were just shy of the Sky Attack. I was off by a Dragon Breath, but that looked like the CMP tie there to it. And we're saying bye-bye to the Altaria. And now it is smooth sailing from here. Holy smokes, they have to farm down and leave with a move, but Medi says no. Medicham, so OP in the Great League. We are saying bye-bye to the Azumarill as well. Holy smokes, Medicham putting on a clinic in the Great League to finish strong. You love to see it. Good game well played to them. Yeah, I've been really wanting to try Carbink ever since I got it. It's about 47.5. I thought that was good enough. But here we go. We've got a Deoxys here. We safe swap into Lanturn, which is the safe swap on this team. And my experience with the Deoxys leads this morning is they stay in, which means that they are weak to a Lanturn in the back. And that makes sense because the Deoxys can often compared with an ice type like Dugong in the back, so it makes sense that they would want to stay in and chip away at our Lanturn. I did expect them to swap out. Going for this Surf here, you do need a Surf plus a Thunderbolt to get a Deoxys out of there, and they shield. So something really doesn't want to see a Lanturn or perhaps an anti-flyer like Lanturn. They make a play into a Sableye. I did not expect to see a Sableye lurking in the back, but we're going to chip with this Surf. Rank 1 Lanturn, putting in the work. You'd love to see it. And here we go. It is Carbink time yet again. Oh my goodness. Carbink, this thing is absolutely cracked, my friends. I would highly recommend investing in a solid Carbink if you do have one. And you don't even need to be fully leveled. We are still working on this thing, but I've been itching to try it. I thought it was close enough, and we're just going to farm this thing all the way down. Still maintaining our one shield advantage, and they bring back in the Deoxys. So I am really wondering what they have. I'm thinking maybe double dark with Umbreon in the back. If that's the case, it's looking pretty good for Medicham up shields. And they shielded the Rock Slide on the low health DD. We say bye-bye to the DD. Now let's see what you got. It's an owl. Oh my goodness. Carbink is about to sweep this entire team. My goodness. That is the power of Carbink in the Great League. You absolutely love to see it. Yes, we are shielding this Sky Attack. I think Carbink is not going to have a problem here with this Knocked Owl. Even on this low of health. Going for the Rock Slide, doing big damage on the Owl, and I do believe we will get the farm down. Medicham did not even see the field or barely saw any action. Carbink swept the whole team. My goodness, good game, well played. Oh, how about Carbink taking over that last one? That was insane. And here we go. Another Deoxys lead. Same game plan as last time. We go into Lanturn on the safe swap. And yet again, they're staying in, which is a very strong indicator that they are weak in the back. So I go for the Surf immediately, but I think the ideal way to play this matchup, if they decide to stay in like this, go right for that Thunderbolt. Because it's basically a free Thunderbolt. Deoxys trainers will not shield the first move, and you want to get that guaranteed damage because, as I mentioned, you do need a Surf plus Thunderbolt plus the fast move pressure to get rid of a Deoxys. And they are at another Thunderbolt, but I trust in my rank 1 Lanturn. We should take this in the zeros if they so choose. We do make it to the Surf. I think this is IV dependent for the zeros, but we're saying bye-bye to the DD because they know shield and play out the zeros. Your Lanturn, I'm not sure. But mine, I do win the zeros up against Deoxys. And they've got an Owl in the back, so that makes perfect sense. Why they stayed in, they were indeed weak to a anti-flyer such as Lanturn, which is always a good sign for your Carbink in the back. We actually shield up the Shadow Ball. We comfortably tank a Shadow Ball, no problem. But I'm picking up on the fact that they are staying in on this nightmare matchup. They're totally showing their hand in this battle here. I'm reading they're weak to Carbink. Severely so. The fact that they would stay in on this awful matchup. I don't know what it could be. Perhaps another flyer like Altaria. Maybe a Dark type. I don't know. What I do know is that we're going to preserve health on our Carbink. It's not another flyer, not a Dark type, but just as good if it's a Carbink. It's a Charm A9. Holy smokes, this is over. Gonna go get to this Rock Slide, and Carbink sweeping yet another game. You love to see it. We are saying bye-bye to the A9, courtesy of Carbink. Back-to-back sweeps. Medi didn't see the field yet again. It makes me wonder, is this a Medi feature or a Carbink feature? My goodness, good game, well played. Oh my goodness, Carbink blew me away. It was absolutely insane. What's also insane is another Deoxys lead in the Great League. Holy smokes, same game plan as last time. We go into Lanturn, and again, this one and the last one were earlier on. But yeah, like I said, in this matchup, go Thunderbolt. They're not going to shield it. And you want to get that guaranteed damage. And we fully plan on playing out the zeros because all we're really concerned with is getting the Deoxys within a manageable health range. Because it does kind of core break our Medicham Carbink core. And the damage has been done. This is definitely within a manageable range for our 2 remaining Pokemon. They go for the Psycho Boost, debuff themselves, and we are going to make it to another Surf in time. Because they overfarmed, they went for the extra. That makes me think that they are going to give up a shield here, and they do. That is beautiful. Lanturn did everything that we needed it to do. Grabbed the shield, got the Deoxys really low for us here. We're going to absorb this damage here, and I'm fully anticipating an Owl in the back. What else is there to anticipate? This one played out just like the last two. The only difference is their Dark type of choice happens to be a Drapion. So, not the best dark type for our Carbink to see, as they're doing neutral fast move pressure. But the problem is this one's running Aqua Tail, and it's a shadow. But as you can see, we take that quite comfortably. We grab the final shield with a Rock Slide. They have to put in some work on this Carbink. We are still holding on to a 2-shield advantage. Gonna let that second Aqua Tail go, and we will shield up the third as we will make it to a Rock Slide. And we will be healthy enough to put in work up against that Noctowl remaining as well. Gonna just get rid of this thing, not looking to overfarm at all. We're saying bye-bye to the Drapion, and we are in the very low red, guys. This Noctowl is at full health. Holy smokes, Carbink. Absolutely insane up against these owls in the Great League. It's a thing of beauty. Gonna shield up the resisted sky attack because we want to get to this Rock Slide. I was thinking at the time, if we can get this thing super low, Medi will have no problems with it. And we do, and we go for the Simul. Medi remaining in the back means that we win yet again up against the DD lead. You love to see it. Good game, well played to them. Oh, this team was putting in the work this morning in the Great League. It was a lot of fun. Here we go. Chesnaught lead. A very interesting lead. They safe swap a Froslass, and I immediately knew what this team was. I watch a lot of Twitch, and two of my all-time favorite Twitch streamers, Crimson K19 and Wholesome underscore, run this team quite a bit. And a lot of people follow them, justifiably so. They are both awesome. Do give them both a follow if you happen to be on Twitch. But I read this team like a book. It was Chesnaught lead. They safe swap a Froslass. There is a Charizard in the back. As sure as the sun will rise in the morning, there will be a Charizard in the back. I 100% knew what this team was. And unfortunately, our team does quite well up against it. My only question is, facing this team, I'm wondering if we should have met the Froslass with our Carbink and saved the Lantern for the Charizard that I'm very much sure is in the back because we get farmed down here. At least we can maybe leave that Froslass matchup with a move to threaten that Chesnaught, but it doesn't matter. There's the Zard in its shadow form. This thing is getting deleted. We hardwall this thing like you would not believe. There's nothing that thing can throw at us that would not be resisted. It was so satisfying. And this Chesnaught does have a Frenzy Plant loaded, but we survived that under-leveled Carbink OP. We're not making it to the Moonblast, so just going to get what chip we can here on this Chesnaught, not expecting a shield, and now it is smooth sailing for Medicham. We don't have to shield this, but we will. We've got shields, might as well use them, and the play here now is to just counter down this Chesnaught here. Beat it down, we don't throw a move. We tank this as well. Medi tanks one Frenzy Plant quite comfortably, and we do counter down, taking the win with Medicham. Good game, well played. My goodness, seeing how well an under-leveled Carbink performed absolutely gives me nightmares. Thinking what a fully leveled one would do, my goodness. But we had a Chesnaught, they safe swap a Froslass yet again, back-to-back. This is looking like the same team as the previous one, so we play it out the same way. We meet this with our Lantern. Lantern, an excellent answer to Froslass, in case any of you were unaware. And it's because we do resist the fast move pressure. Our bulk really comes in handy for soaking those very hard-hitting shadow balls. And we just outpace. Takes 2 surfs plus the fast move pressure to take out a Froslass. And in comes the Chesnaught yet again. We're only making it to 1 move. If you're ever in that situation, you go for the Thunderbolt. Surf and Thunderbolt are virtually identical in terms of damage per energy. And they do farm us all the way down to Funky Town. Gonna come back in with Medi, absorb this damage here. And like clockwork, yet again, I'm fully expecting a Charizard pivot. There it is. And oh my goodness, you guys have no idea how satisfying it is for me. Oh, absolutely deleting these very annoying Charizards, my goodness. After 2 straight weeks of facing this thing in Ultra, oh my goodness, you have no idea how satisfying that is. And we make a really dumb play here, trying to get really greedy going for the Moonblast. You just want to get what damage you can because it just makes the farm down for Medi that much easier. Yes, Rock Slide is resisted, but some damage is always better than no damage at all, but we're still fine. We just shield up these frenzies and farm down the Funky Town. They realized that it was not trending in the right direction. They top left. Good game, well played to them. Oh, nothing gives me more satisfaction than deleting Charizards. It was amazing. Here we go. What's not so amazing is this lead right here, Shadow Muk. Not something you see every day in the Great League. So we pivot into our Lanturn, and they make a brilliant catch onto a Lickitung. So, in terms of team reading, they led with a Poison type, and they've got a Licky in the back. There's got to be something that would be weak to Charm. I would say perhaps a fighter, perhaps a dark type. So in terms of reading this team based upon the lead and the safe swap, I'm reading perhaps a fighter or a dark type in the back. And if that's the case, depending on what Pokemon it is, Carbink can do quite all right. But we do tank a Power Whip quite comfortably from the Lickitung, and I'm going to fire right back with a Surf. Does not quite KO. Really hoping we could get that farm down to control alignment, but that is okay. Gonna let this go and look to come back in with Medicham. Get ahead on energy here. And if my team read is accurate, they're going to bring back in that Muk for sure, 100%. And they do. So it's not a Sableye. That was my major concern, letting go of Switch there. But they come in with the Muk, so that leads me to believe that it's some sort of dark type or fighter. Perhaps an Obstagoon, maybe Umbreon, maybe Scrafty, something of that nature. And they shield the bait. We do bait with an Ice Punch. Reading that they're weak in the back to Medi, so we're going to shield this and pivot into our Carbink here and look to get rid of this Muk. We are taking neutral damage because we are part rock, and rock does resist poison. So that neutralizes what would be super effective poison jabs here. And we do tank a non-stab Thunder Punch quite comfortably from this Shadow Muk here. They're going to fire off another Thunder Punch, and we're just going to go for the farm down here. What do they have in the back? Let's see it. It's an Umbreon. So the team read was spot on, guys. It just makes perfect sense. The Muk protects Umbreon from the Charmers, which if you're not doing super effective damage to Umbreon, the chances of you leaving the matchup are not good. Umbreon is the neutral matchup king or queen. And yeah, we're going to do just fine here. We tank that resisted last resort like a champ, firing off the Moonblast, doing big, super effective damage, and then we pivot back into Medi to finish it off here. Ice Punch will not KO, but a counter or two should do the trick, or three actually. That's usually a good bet with Umbreon. You usually need a few extra fast moves to take it out, but this is over. We do take it out with the counter, finishing it off with Medi with an assist from our Carbink, of course. Good game, well played to them. Oh, this team was running through the Great League like a hot knife through butter. It was amazing. Here we go. Another Deoxys lead. Same game played as last time we go into Lanturn. And oh, they've got a Dunsparce lurking. Okay. Now we got a bit of a challenge here on our hands. We don't win this. We're just going to play out the zeros, slowly but surely chip away. Most Dunsparce trainers will build up to the back-to-back and fire them off. We're just going to focus on throwing with proper timing here in this matchup. And the surfs are beginning to add up. They need two of these drill runs to take us out. That one does big damage, and they're going right for the next one immediately. And this will KO. But what this does is sets up Medicham to get a very healthy farm, and that's something we'll definitely need if they bring back in that Deoxys. Medi is generally absolutely helpless up against DD, but with an energy lead, we can put in some work and slowly but surely chip away. I'm reading that they are weak to Carbink in the back. Most Deoxys leads are going to be weak to a Carbink in the back. That is just how the team building works out. So I know that if we can chip this thing down into the red, we're going to be okay with Carbink. It's got to be either a dark type like Umbreon, Sableye, something like that to protect Deoxys from the ghost types. It could also be an ice type like Dugong. Dugong is also a very strong pairing with Deoxys. Had to play to the CMP tie there to get that last ice punch off. And that is beautiful because they don't get any extra farm. It is now within a manageable range, and it's a Dugong. It was not a dark type. So this one got a little bit of got a little bit sweaty. It was a little bit more of a challenge than the previous Deoxys teams. I'm reading that their play is to just debuff us into oblivion because they're taking super effective damage from our fast move pressure. It just makes perfect sense for them to go for the debuff win con. And that is why we are so very comfortable no shielding these icy wins here. Reading the opponent like a book here, and gonna fire off the Rock Slide on proper timing. That is crucial. I cannot stress that enough. If you got a 2-turn fast move like Rock Throw and you're up against the 3-turn, you want to be throwing on 1, 4, or 7. And the play here now is to 2-shield farm down. Leave this with a Moonblast because I don't think with this many debuffs, a Rock Slide's gonna get the job done. We 2-shield farm down and we leave this with a Moonblast to KO that low health Deoxys in the back. That's the play. That's the win con. Playing out, working out to perfection. This DD is bulky, but it is low. We're debuffed. We say bye-bye to the DD. Holy smokes. Carbink sweeping yet another Deoxys team. You'll love to see it. Good game, well played. Oh, this team was so strong, but like I said, it is definitely not without its weaknesses. If you're wondering what you do with Trev, you top left and you take your L and move on. That's what you do with Trevenant. Oh my goodness. Hey, you know, running a team like this, it's a calculated risk. Trevenant is not all that common. You just play the odds, guys. Well worth it to pick up as many wins as we did today in the Great League, but overall, outside of something like a Trevenant or a Venusaur, this team absolutely dominates, guys. Just got to play those odds. Carbink and Medicham make for a solid pairing. Not perfect, as you can see. Core broken by something like a Trevenant or perhaps a Venusaur. But everything else in between, this team absolutely dominates, guys. Carbink far exceeded my expectations. It's like a level 47.5. I think if you're in that range and you've got a Carbink, you're A-okay to run it. I can't wait to get this thing fully powered up to level 50. My goodness, it put in work at 47.5. I cannot imagine level 50. And as we all know, Medicham and Lanturn puts in the work. You combine all three, and that's a recipe for a lot of success and a lot of fun if you happen to encounter a Charizard in the Great League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.